Hello, everyone, and welcome to At Barrons. I'm Andy Serwer, and welcome to our guest, Dave Bozeman, CEO of C.H. Robinson. Dave, great to see you. Thanks for being here.
Good seeing you, Andy. Thanks for having me.
So it's a freight and logistics company, publicly traded, but what exactly does the company do, Dave?
Well, C.H. Robinson is really a global logistics platform. In fact, the largest global logistics platform. We serve over 83,000 customers, also 450,000 contract carriers. In a sense, at our core, we really move all the goods to power daily life is what we do. What separates us, though, we do it at scale with technology and people, and we're really proud about that.
So how does the business model work? I mean, do you own the trucks and the ships and the planes? Or is your brand name on them? It's a contract sort of business. How does it work?
Yeah, Andy, it's a two-sided marketplace. So we're asset light. What we do is we go out for our customers or shippers, and we get them the best dynamic pricing that they need and connect them with carriers to move their goods around the globe. And for carriers, we provide them with the opportunity of shippers. And so it works out both ways. We're in the middle. We broker that arrangement of moving those goods for the best price, and we do that at the most efficient way possible within the logistics world, and that's how we operate.
And so are your customers some of the big brand name companies in the U.S. and globally, as well as the shipping companies?
Absolutely. We have, with 83,000 customers, we have a cross-section of all of global society in a sense, from the very large strategic big box customers that you can think of to, say, Andy and Dave's Transmissions. And we treat them all the same when it comes to professionalism and technology. That's the excitement that we have right now in Robinson.
I like that transmission business. Got to think about that afterwards. So you're talking about planes, trains, automobiles, ships, air freight, everything, and is it all? And it is global, as you said, then, right?
It is global, and we like to look at it as our core markets, and our four core modes that we deal with would be ocean, air, truckload, and what we call less than truckload, or LTL. Those are the four core modes that we move product with around the world.
Right, and so, gosh, between the supply chain issues we've been talking about for years and tariffs, there's a lot of stuff going on in your world right now. First of all, let's take the supply chain, which was so disrupted from COVID. Is it back to where it was before that, or is it totally different? What's the state of play there?
Two sides that I look at. It's capacity. That would be the amount of carriers that are in the marketplace right now, and then there's demand on the other side for moving goods. And to make things really, really simple, we care about services, obviously, for the economy, but what really drives freight would be goods, industrials. That would be retail, housing, and manufacturing. That's what really drives freight from a demand perspective. So from a carrier perspective, that would be the capacity. How many truckers are out there? How many steamship lines? How much capacity is out there moving things? And when you want really a marketplace to be back normal, these things have to be in balance. So there was excess capacity coming out of the pandemic. That is burning down into almost normal levels. We think perhaps in 2026, we might get to some level of normality when it comes to the capacity side. And there's all types of reasons why that lingered on. But on the right side is demand, which is what we're watching very closely. Housing, as you know, was down and to the right. With the change in interest rates, we're hoping that can rebound, but it'll be about affordability. When it comes to manufacturing, that's about flat. We think that trade deals, if they become solid, that'll bring some certainty, and perhaps manufacturing or industrials will start to rebound. And then finally, retail, which has in a sense been dislocated, with things have been pulled forward and moved around. That's going to take some time to really kind of flatten out. And when that happens, you'll start getting this kind of rebound in the marketplace. So it's going to take some time, but I am positive about what I see. In the meantime, with Robinson, we said we're going to win at the low and we're going to win at the high and just have a system ready to do that.
But you hear so much about consumer demand
Yeah.
and how strong it is. But that's not an overwhelming part of your business then?
It is. From a retail perspective, there's still a lot of demand, but what I look at is how goods have moved. Like, for example, there's been a record amount of product brought into the United States. Matter of fact, the most product that has ever come in the ports of Long Beach and LA in July in 100 years. However, that's just not the timing that normally happens in, because now we're seeing kind of a pullback in August, and you normally would see that kind of peak happen in October. So timing is off because customers are pulling things in to avoid tariffs and a number of other things. And we're right in the middle of that. And we also see that behavior will probably happen in November. That's the next date that'll be up, where different modes get used, airplanes and ships get pulled ahead. And also customers are deciding what's most pertinent. And so we had holiday things in earlier in the year because they're really starting to focus on, let me get the things in that I really need. And we're trying to help them decide and do that.
Yeah, that's got to be wreaking havoc on shippers and big businesses. And, it's one of those maybe problem/opportunities for you. Yeah. I saw you were speaking about helping someone ship something to China, and then in the middle of the situation, you sent it over to Japan instead because the tariffs were going to give them a $6 million hit, right?
That's correct. And we see that. It's a lot of stories like that where things can happen real time. And recently we saw that where some things changed on the tariff front, but if they're already in the middle of the ocean, you have to deal with that. And if that ship embarks or ports into a certain city, customers can be liable for that. So we're constantly trying to help our customers see around corners, using technology to help them do that. And that's why we're so excited about how we're using technology to really help them see things around the corner, see it faster, predict it. And that's why you also see a shift in services. Customs has been going through the roof for us, our customs services.
Does that help companies, you mean move things across borders, you mean?
Move things across borders. There is paperwork and policies and things that have to happen. So if we say, let's just adjust, say, a tariff percentage, well, there's a lot of, sorry for the term, but sausage making and things that has to happen behind the scenes to really make that happen. We do that type of work for a lot of customers to get their products across borders into different countries. And there's just a lot of policy and things that you have to do.
Yeah, when you're talking about technology, I imagine that's a nice segue to AI. I was reading somewhere you guys are a stealth AI play. How's that possible?
Well, we are. I like to say we're an undervalued industrial AI play. And the reason I say that is this. You have your hyperscalers and your chip makers and infrastructure play. Well, at the end of the day, there are companies like C.H. Robinson who are benefiting from AI real time. You can see it in our results. We have 35% productivity in the last 2 years. That's partly because of our technology that we're using. We are growing and reducing expenses and expanding our margins. Something in this industry, they said can't be done. Well, this technology is actually helping us do that. Why? Because if you look at our order to cash process, very, very manual in this industry to do that. Technology has allowed us to automate a lot of that process, move our people to customer facing, solve strategic problems like they like to do, and that results in what we think are superior results as compared to the competition.
You became CEO a little more than 2 years ago. What was your mandate? What are your objectives? What's your plan been going forward?
Yeah, coming in, I can't believe it's been a little bit over 2 years, and was facing pressure on margins and a really tough freight market. We're 4 years into a freight market. So really it was about turning a company around. 1, getting our swagger back. 2, getting people in this company to win again. Proud to say we're doing that, but had to do that through a new transformation, and that involved what I like to say kind of the triple moat. One, our lean operating model. I'm a lean practitioner, I think, by heart, and bringing in those kind of lean concepts of a good operating model. Two, allowing us to use what we think is superior technology. And three, our logisticians, our people. Leveraging those three, we think is creating a deep and wide moat. And that was a transformation that 2 years later, I'm pretty proud of when we look and see where Team Robinson is doing.
Yeah, I know the stock really popped in late July, Dave. I think it's been up 35% over the past 3 months. A lot of that had to do, my understanding, though, with cost cutting. And revenue growth is dear in this business. And I was surprised to read about a freight recession. And I'm curious as to what that is and then why revenue's been so tough. I know that you also, I think, divested a business, so that's brought revenue down. But why is it so hard? I heard the economy's humming, people are sending goods and services all around, not services, goods all over the place.
Yeah. Well, right now there has been a freight recession. We're going on 4 years right now on that, and partly because of demand. Right, it's just been light demand overall. Goods have been moved, but as we talked about earlier, a lot of it is pull ahead in placing goods, in the country before they normally are doing that. But for the most part, when it comes to actual demand at scale like we were used to, there's a pullback right now on, and it has been for several years. And again, it's those three things: housing, retail, manufacturing. We're hoping that those really start to pop and do that. And when that happens, we'll really see the freight market really go. But outside of that, what we've been able to do is still grow in a really kind of depressed freight market and expand margins. That we feel is related to our transformation, to our lean operating model, and to using our technology of generative AI and now agentic AI, which we feel excited about. And it's really tough to do in this marketplace of actually growing and expanding margins, but we feel good about that. And as you properly called out, we did put some focus. We call it being fit, fast, and focused. And we thought within our portfolio, our European surface transportation business, we sold that and we deprecated some other things just to get focused on those four core modes: ocean, air, truckload, and less than truckload. And that's really paid off because the company is really knows where it's going and is really focused on it.
Okay, I'm sorry, I should have followed up. What does less than truckload mean?
Yeah, less than truckload would be what some of your listeners might hear. You ever heard of a box truck, a smaller truck?
Yeah.
So you see the big,
the
long,
smaller trucks, right?
53-foot trucks, and then you have the smaller trucks. That's called less than truckload. That would take a few pallets and things and that's a huge market within the industry in a core mode that we focus on.
And maybe the last mile a little bit to smaller customers. Why not rail?
Well, we do actually have a relationship with rail, and that's under the guise of what we call intermodal. And in intermodal, we have a relationship with all of the major railways. Robinson always has and always will. It's just not as big a mode as, say, a freight for truckload. But we do offer that service to our customers, and it's a very important service for us.
Yeah, what about employment, generally speaking, not just at C.H. Robinson, with regard to AI taking away jobs? I mean, you're hearing about automated truckers, trucks coming down the road as well. What's your take on that?
Well, my take is this. We've always had technology revolutions within the world. This is another one that's coming around. I can sit here and you and I can go back in the time machine and talk about the PC when it came on and the advent of that. Things shift over time. For us, we don't look at it as really taking away jobs. We look at it as supercharging our people and augmenting certain jobs. For us, there is a attrition rate in this industry. that's fairly high, one that I wasn't used to in the industrials, but 11 to 14% just within the attrition rate. By doing that, we're able to not backfill certain operational roles, but we're actually investing and hiring in sales, small, medium business selling, customer facing, and ultimately those jobs that really people don't want to do, and bringing efficiency to that. That's been kind of a balance for us at Robinson. So we don't look at it as really like slashing jobs. We look at it as really getting the company more technology focused and driving into the future.
Globally, what are the hottest markets right now, the strongest markets, and what are you sanguine about? And how's the China business doing?
Well, I would say obviously for the U.S., we're mainly a good portion of our business is here in the U.S. And we see that happening and continue to be strong for us as we roll out our transformation. But we're a global company in our global forwarding, so we're in a number of different countries. We see those continue to be our China business is doing well. We divested a bit because we saw the advent of supply chain shifting from China into like Southeast Asia and the India subcontinent. So we've diversified a bit into some of those countries. But at the end of the day, China is still the factory to the world, and we still have a pretty strong team there with that business as well.
And what about the competitive set? Who do you go up against in your business?
Yeah, it's a good question. We go up against a number of individuals, traditional freight brokers that we would go up against, as well as global shippers. And there are global shippers that we deal with every day, and DSV and Kuehne+Nagel, and there are freight brokers here such as RXO and TQL. There's just different competitors. That makes us stand out. We're not just one, we do global shipping, and so it really allows us to stand ourselves out. And we really don't view ourselves, Andy, as even a freight broker or just a global shipper. We're really a global logistics platform based on technology. So it's like bringing technology to a logistics industry. And we used to be somewhat the disrupted company because of everything that was going on. We kind of feel like we are the disruptor at this point with our people, our technology, and our operating model.
All right, we talked about tariffs a little bit. I'm wondering if you could put something out to Washington, D.C. right here.
Yeah.
What are some things that you'd like to change, maybe in terms of regulation, for instance, that you'd like to see coming out of Washington that could help your business?
Yeah, well, first and foremost, we love global trade, and we love a consistent global trade. So what the first thing I would love to have happen, because I deal with a lot of customers, and if there's one word that they're concerned about, is uncertainty. And so having a trade deal done with China, having a trade deal done with India, having the trade deal done with Canada, right? Just having these things done where we know what they mean, what's the time base on them, that I can't tell you how much that is driving customers to then say, I know what I'm dealing with, and now I can go forward and do that. We still see people holding back because they just don't know. So getting trade deals done would be a key thing for us as a business in helping our customers.
Yeah, I know your stock's been up a bit since, as I said, but can you imagine done trade deals, what that might do to your stock?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I look, we like to say that we're going to keep going no matter what, and I think we're showing that. And I think and it will, because supply chain is the economy, it will snap back. And when it snaps back, we'll be right there in pole position to be there. There's a call on quality right now, and Robinson is getting that call because it's really hard out there for companies to deal with this, and they're calling on us to really help them, and we feel good about doing that every day.
And final question, Dave. C.H. Robinson, the pride of Eden Prairie, Minnesota. Midwestern. You're a Midwestern guy from
I am.
Chicago, went to Bradley and Peoria. You worked at Harley Davidson, you worked at Ford, you worked at Caterpillar.
That's right.
Little time with Amazon, but basically a Midwestern guy.
That's right.
Did you see yourself ending up in a role like this when you were growing up?
Well, that's a great question. I always had ambition, and I always consider myself a learner. Did I in high school, did I say I'm going to be a CEO? Probably not, but what I said is I'm going to always continue to learn. And as I started to mature and get into leadership and executive leadership, I certainly looked at that and said, number one, I think that I can affect people. It's a passion of mine. I love developing, growing, and taking people where they never thought they could do. And two, improving companies and their bottom lines is something. I've worked for some great companies, as you said, and I feel really proud to have helped them, just improve along the way. And I always said at some point, now if I was CEO, I was going to do both. I was going to improve businesses and take them where they never thought they could be, and I was going to take people and develop them and take them where they never thought they could be. And I think at Robinson, we're doing both.
Dave Bozeman, CEO of C.H. Robinson, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate having you.
This is at Barrons. I'm Andy Serwer. We'll catch you next time.